Right, boys. How we doing? Young Rineth. First again. Man's cracked. God damn. Nah, we ain't doing that. No chance. Right, where we going? Keep run tram. Right, going Stormwind. Right, what do we need? Need some tunes. Tunes what? Old school. Right, I'm not going D-run tram. I'm just gonna fly. Yeah. Why am I whispering? You what? This is a private server now. This is Spine Shatter. What's up, Marty? How you doing? You good? Only likes candies. Yeah, these are my candies, bro. I have to eat them before he steals them. YouTube started a long time before Twitch. Maybe you just didn't get the announcement. Because I actually started the YouTube stream after the Twitch stream. Weirdly. Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad, mate. I just want to try and grab a couple of levels on this, and then we'll probably jump over onto Mop. Just like while I got SM boost, my undead on the other screen. But the problem is, my undead is running out of gold on Spine Shatter, which is not good. I don't know what to do about that. I need to like transfer some over or something. Okay. We need to vendor some stuff as well. We got a load of random crap. What's up, Hamsty? Might visit UK next summer, maybe a couple of days in London. The vibe if you go to the right place. Sure. How you doing, Hamsty, mate? What's good? Dude, can you even get in these things? Or are they just there just to look fucking menacing? I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing here. Accepting quests. The vendor, that's what I need to do. Oh, this guy's a vendor, right? Hell yeah. Wait, what cloak have I got? Wait, I got a 2 spirit cloak. I need that 3 spirit back. A bad boy on. That'll do. Auctionizer. Eldor today. Dude, yeah, we got the old school vibes on today. What's up, Jagama? How you doing, man? Dude, I need to turn on auction here, don't I? Huh? Do I have an old version or something? Guess I have an old version. Let me get that shit. Yeah, what I'm probably gonna do. Wait, let me get auctioneer updated. Okay, so now it should work. I don't know where all my gold is. I swear I've got gold. What's up, Ouijios? Okay, here we go. Dude, ain't no one buying that shit. Real talk. This is low-key not bad. I'm gonna keep this. I'm gonna keep this. Let me see this. I have no idea who these people are. It's fucking crazy, Hamsty. It's like, it's just fucking Zoomers, man, I swear. Like, actually. I don't know, man. This Twitter shit is fucking correct. Okay. Let's move. Where are we going? I'm not doing any of this shit. Underground assault. What is this quest? Nah, bro. What's... Are we going all the way over there for that? Alright, whatever. I need to get a stockades boost. What I need to do. We'll get in with this guy. 20 gold. Cheapest chips. You need to have an AI about the emails, all inactive primes. A link to your stream at a click of a button. Find some GDPR loophole. Yeah, dude, I swear, I was like, how are you gonna get the list of inactive primes though? That's the thing. Not easy. Any TBC dates yet? Nah, not yet. I wonder if there's a way to get the list of anyone, like all the primes that have ever like primed to your stream. Just send to every email in existence. Okay, bro. Man's just going hard out here. All right, Hamsi, mate, get it done, bro. That's your next task, bro. Bro, is it even a scam if they weren't using their primes in the first place? It's like, I'll just take the prime, thanks. Every NA viewer that's not a sub. I think like 10% of my viewers or something at NA. I think it's something around that. It's like 10% German, the top, or 11% German, something like that. 10% NA, and then like 10% Swedish. I think Sweden, Russia, they're all around 9-10%. Fly to Westfall. All right. I don't really want to do that. Dude, how am I not getting invited to this fucking Stockades booster? I need a Stockades boost, dude. Wait, let me adjust this. Settings. Filters. Holy hell, intellectual. Where's Stockades? Stormwind Stockade. Who the fuck calls it that? Oh. What this dude? There's no one even in this group. You get more XP if it's a full group. Do I have to be level 20? Wait, I'm not level 20. Do I have to be level 20? To get into Stockade? I think I have to be level 20. I'm gonna go level. It's 15? Wait, I'm grieved. I left the group, but there was no one in this guy's group anyway, so we move. But like, should I go and get some more XP first or what? Wait, I'm gonna set my Hearthstone here, bro. Needs to be 40 for Mara. What? Bro, I'm a snake. Yeah, it's a 30 angle, dude. 40 is tapped. Alright, where the fuck am I going? Trying to do both things at once. Okay, do I just YOLO into a Stockades? There's only one Stockades boost going. Also, is this classic Anna? Yeah. Bro, there's no way I'm doing strat boosts. I'm just saying that now. I'm just like after Mara, I'm just gonna level it manually when I have time. Yeah, but this bro is like not even full. Sorry, re-imp. Bro, I literally just dipped out this guy's group. Do I have flight path? Monk, I don't have flight path. Okay, whatever. I'm just gonna run to Red Ridge. And then we can just fly back. Bro, this guy's not even replying now. He's fucking raged. He's raged. Him is dead. Dude, you know what we need? We need do I actually go and get the I think I need to go and get the fly path now. Bias Brotherhood. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. You get anything from killing these? No, right? Glad you liked it, Noodle Tray, man. I'm still gonna play shit on a classic in 2016. What do you mean TV series? Yeah, TBC. I mean, this is the anniversary edition, right? So 60 got re-released, and then we're gonna get 70 again, and then probably 80 again. Hey, from Russia, best wishes. What's up, man? Thinking probably just run to Westfall. No feather, man. What the hell? Grief. My horde is gonna be level 30 soon, so that's good. Bro, if I'm not in town, I joined channel services. Wait, does this look in all? Okay, it does. Services. I wasn't even in services, man. But like, no one's doing stockades or what? Rare. Where do you buy water in really? Just literally the guy here. You want to buy Coca-Cola off him? Easy. Wait. Who's this? Wait, how does he know? Is it the Pala from earlier? Or is it someone in the stream doing stockades? Dude, I don't even know how, like, I can't even see him, bro. Oh my god, almost died. Alright, fuck. Go, 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 go. Keep groups together. Power bars, class colors, border off. Probably something like this. Max size, unlock. Yeah, that's good enough. More bro is here for the fucking the pace as well, my guy. I might as well run to Westfall then, no? Unless they're starting now. But I don't know how you found this guy. Is ready check? Oh, is it another screen? Wait, where am I going? Sentinel Hill's down here. I was running to this fucking random grain silo. Okay, we'll go this way. Full greens at 58 getting owned by Peninsula mobs. That's gonna be me, bro. I need to like get to 60 and then just like get into some fucking scav run. Any tips for ladder anxiety above cutoff and getting a what? Like rank 1 cutoff? Private server? No. Alright, we'll get the Fires Brotherhood to go. Cool. I might just fly back to town or... I'm curious, Brims, what the fuck? Are you above rank 1 cutoff already? I mean, we don't even know what rank 1 cutoff is gonna be, so... Do I go Stormwind? Probably faster, right? I don't think that... is this kind of a guy gonna boost with, like, only a few? What's the scab run? Like, I don't know, man. Just like a full shitter run where I can just go and loot some stuff. There's no way I'm getting Nax gear, right? There's no way I've even getting into, like... It's not happening. Scav run. Yeah, like, I just want to scav some fucking loot off the ground. You know what I'm saying? I need some free loot. Just the thing is, I'm gonna have 2 dwarves, and I don't really give a shit. I just need a couple of things that aren't greens, right? That aren't Keller's Girdle at level 60, like, bruh. Or like Spider Silk boots. I haven't even got them yet, Lee. I'm ready to go. Like, I got some good shit. I'm gonna just get a few levels in stockades and then level manually, probably. Alright, let's go. Dude, I haven't got any quests. These guys are all level 20. Oh my god, I'm level 19, bro. I'm gonna get flipped. And then the speedy boy. Didn't hear if you answered the stream. Like, let me see. Learn to be more indifferent. If you lose, you learn from it. If you win, that's great. Forget that you lose. Remember, no one but yourself gives a single fuck away ring. I mean, it's like what's a good fucking example? Like how many characters I'm gonna prep? 2 alliance, 2 horde, 2 dwarf, 1 troll, 1 undead. So like, if unless you're literally the rank 1 player, like of a class, or like top 3 of a class, no one is really looking at your rank other than you. Okay? And like, if you're above glad cutoff, or whatever you think the glad cutoff's gonna be, the equivalent of that, right, is just, what is it? Like glad is top 0.5%, right? So you're still top 0.5% already, right? So you're at basically a point where you have already done most of the hard work, right? And there's no point in doing all the hard work and then not. It's like you're making a fucking, I don't know, a pottery bowl, right? And you do all the hard work, you've shaped it up really nicely, and you know it's looking really good, but you can't be fucked to paint it because you're scared you're gonna fuck the bowl up, you know. And it's like you only really have to paint it one color, right? You just paint it fucking. Oh my god, I'm dying. Wait. Dude, they left the fucking mob. Wait, I had to run out. Hold on. So yeah, you're only really painting this bowl one color, so the painting actually isn't that you know difficult at Glad level, right? If you want to get rank 1, then you're painting it all sorts of different colors and making it look fucking sick, right? But you're not. You're literally just pushing Glad, which means you're just painting this bowl one color, right? So you're saying, okay, I'm too scared now to, after having done all the hard work, to just refine your play a little bit more from some losses to the point where you're now confident enough to be like maybe 100 rating over cutoff, because that's what you want, right? You don't want to have a good sesh, get lucky with comps or something, spike up your rating, and then be too scared to queue and try and sit on it, because what will happen, right, is that the cutoff will go up, right? And now you're at a rating which realistically you shouldn't really be, but you kind of got lucky with a good sesh, which does happen sometimes. You get like plus minus 100, and now you're too scared to queue as a result of it, right? What you want is you want to just keep queuing, and you want to get comfortable enough that you can comfortably play, you know, regularly, and your median, your mid, your average is going to be about 100 rating over cutoff. And that way, if you have a good sesh, then you're like 200 rating over cutoff, right? And if you have a bad sesh, then you're on the cutoff, and it's fine because you know that you're confident enough you can go back to that 100 plus, right? Don't just like get a lucky run and sit, because you're gonna regret it when Glad comes around and you're still trying to sit and you're trying to hold out and it goes past you and you're like, fuck, now I need to queue, but you haven't been practicing, so you're not capable now of getting that easy plus 100, and then it's basically a coin flip, even less, whether or not you're gonna be able to push higher, right? Don't worry about if you're at the Glad cutoff. They haven't even announced end of season yet. You know, you've got time. Send 50 odd games a day, and you'll be fine, no problem whatsoever. You will lose some. Don't play and aim to stay above the Glad cutoff, right? Play and find the mistakes. If you find the mistakes, the Glad will come by itself. I think TBC is going to be the biggest classic since probably last Wrath. Wrath was popping for 3 seasons. They have to buff on again in TBC. It was brutal farming. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, they need to do some changes for sure. Absolutely. What does Zelly say? If I have the same exact terms of what I would do is make a second ball and then paint it. You still have the original once you got practice painting, then you can go. Yeah, you can do that as well. You can like leapfrog a bit. So you can just make an alt, play the alt for practice, and then at some point your alt will get higher than your main. And then you just leapfrog them. If you have anxiety, then that's a good way of just spam queuing. You just queue the lower character always. Kind of want to build a statistics website for PvP ranks. Think it'd be fun. I'll have to talk to you about the website that I wanted to build. That was way too big of a project, Hamsty. I mean, I still think it's way too big of a project, but it's a cool idea anyway. What's my other character? I don't know. Let me see what it's called exactly. Here. Wait. Looking pretty good, huh? We had a pretty good week. This is my main. I haven't played it in a bit. It's hard to get queues a high rating. Bro, this guy has queued a lot lately, actually. Bro is queuing all day. Look at this. Jeez. I swear, this guy had like half this many games last time I saw him on the ladder. Any kitten, what are you doing? I'd reflected 2 mages, Pom Pyros at the same time in Warsong Gulch the other day. Wait, with the meta or with Spell Reflect? I'm actually interested to see. Do we have Nova on here? We do. Who the fuck is it? What's up there? So this was XP per hour, 63k, bro. I'm doing about 25 max if I'm questing. That's quick, man. Bro is having a bad time. He's getting rendered. He's killed him. Yeah, I don't know if I would be doing that if I wasn't streaming Hamsty, if I'm honest. Xbox WoW leak? Is it a leak? It's just games being played on the Xbox, right? The next gen Xbox console will be able to run Battle on it. I mean, it's just gonna have Windows on, right? You can just play any games on it. The thing. Shit, I need to zone out on my horde. Why have you got to sit there, bro? Literally. Sounds like they're gearing from. I mean, I think it's clear why they have done the whole one button rotation thing and like removing add-ons and simplifying and whatnot. Right? It's 100%. There's no way that those two things are unrelated. Like, no way. I think that they're trying to compete, I guess, in a like the whole thing with the new Xbox console. It's I feel like it almost is like I don't know if it's trying to compete with, but it's at least taking inspiration from like the Steam Deck, right? And the fact that Steam Deck is like super versatile in what you can do because it's basically just a handheld PC. But yeah, again, I think it's not like when you have FPS games with auto aim and stuff, right? It's it's I don't think that you're gonna have any kind of an advantage, right, with this one button shit. It's more just like for casual people, which is fine. I don't really care. I think bringing more people into the game is good, but it's gonna be interesting to see if they're gonna make people pay a subscription to play on the Xbox. Right? That's the next question because that's the thing that needs to go is the subscription. I don't think it ever will. I think that we are kind of we're kind of locked in now. They'll add it to Games Pass. Yeah, I mean that wouldn't be bad either. I think that adds or opens the door for a lot of new players that are on the Games Pass. I don't know how much is Games Pass. So at that point, you might as well have Games Pass, right? Press and hold option now works a single button. Yeah. Yeah, so I mean $10 a month for Games Pass. I can't see the WoW sub being on that. Unless like there's no way they're making WoW sub cheaper, right? Just yeah. Yeah, I mean it'd probably be console only, yeah. You think a lot of people would play WoW if it was free to play? We lost a lot of XP power on this one. How long was this one? Mob count 93. Would get some new people. Yeah. What are the best talents for Priest Shadow? I mean, what version of the game are we talking? Fuck. Right, I've got 3 out of 5 done on here. I think I'm on my last run. I'm on my last run, dude, on my horde. Bro, I'm paying like 55 gold for 5 runs. I'm getting like 1 fucking level. It's something shit. So troll. I'm at gold on horde now. I need to transfer some over. How much gold I pay? On horde I'm paying 55 gold for 5 SM runs, which I think is pretty normal. But I just feel like that I'm not getting that much XP, but it is like 70, 80k XP per hour, so it's definitely quicker than if I was leveling manually. Plus, I'm just going on the other screen, right? So it's not the worst. And then for stockades, I'm paying 20 for 5, which is, it seems pretty standard rate as well. But right now, the stockades XP per hour, not that good. It's falling down. I guess this is my overall. The stockades specific was like 50k for each run. So I have a 60 hardcore character on any realms on NA. I do. Solo players can get Hall of Fame. Wait, what is this? Let's see. What is this? Do you delve achievement? One of the first 1,000 players in your region at any other next season. I mean, isn't that almost like getting a rank 1 title, surely? Which comp do you reckon is the easiest to get glad with in 2v2, 2v2? What, like out of all comps? Maybe like Druid Warrior? Druid Rogue is quite good, like later on. Druid Warrior is pretty good in first seasons. Is Mage Priest viable in first season? Yeah, for sure. Bro. Ronald. Yo, bro. Chatting bad shit. Okay. It's double. Nah, to be honest, I don't think double rogue is that easy to get glad on, because you gotta think, right? You're gonna get like outcast by the entire community, so you'll never be able to play with anyone other than probably another rogue that also plays double rogue ever again, right? You're gonna get like constantly whispered abuse and just generally flamed, right? You're probably gonna get internet bullied, right, for playing it. So it's like a lot of emotional baggage to take on. Obviously, when you look in the mirror, you're gonna know that you're a piece of shit. So that's kind of tough to deal with as well. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I wouldn't recommend it. I feel like you've got to already be in a really bad place mentally to really take that on board. Because otherwise, you know, if you're in a good place mentally and you're basically just running that down. But yes, it's a tough one, bud. A win is a win. If it works, it works. Bro, that's like saying, like, you're gonna suck some dicks to get your fucking protein for the day after going to the gym. What do you mean? A win if you're gay. True. Wait, playing double rogue or the sucking dicks thing? I guess both. Take the W. Lockjaw do feel good in the morning. Unreal. Is any comp hard count a double rogue? I reckon priest lock. Dwarf priest lock. Easiest glad is rogue lock. Dwarf priest lock, you have a health stone, right? And you can stone form health stone in the garrets. So if they try triple garreting you, then they just get fucked, right? And then the lock is also really tanky with the void walker. I was gonna say void weaver. Have you given your thoughts on new patch? What is this? Huh? I mean, we need. I don't know, like, what a full-on patch would involve, right? But they would need some kind of change patch to incorporate the changes that they need to do, right? Homophobia is not a valid argument. What's homophobic? I'm pretty sure gay guys love to suck dick. Like, go nuts. Obviously, if you're straight, you probably don't want to do that, but that's the whole point, right? That's the comparison. I feel like RLP is really strong in 3's first season as well. If they feeling dry, you must help a homie out. Bro, calm down. No one's that good a friend. What do you fucking mean, dude? That is wild today, dude. Wait, what is this? But yeah, like, they would need some kind of a patch to do, like, a bunch of the stuff, right, Hamster? I don't know. I can't remember, mate. I watched it so long ago, Zelly. Nah, you're missing the point, Kevin, mate. It's gone way over your head, bro. Don't worry about it. Oh, yeah, I remember that bit, Zelly. Thanks for the T1, Jake. Appreciate it, man. First sub of the day, dude. An hour in. Bro's quitting streaming, Hundy P. You think vanilla is the best starting point, or do you think it'd be better if they... No, I think they have to... If they're going to do Classic Plus, they have to start with 60. Honestly. There's no way. I think a lot of people would be pissed off if they didn't start at 60. Honestly, like, I don't think they would even need to change classes that much in Classic Plus. I think a big thing is just having, you know, maybe fixing like the really shit stuff that is completely useless. You know, shit like Lightwell, right? Completely garbage and useless and unused, you know, ever. Stuff like that. Like some small changes there, just to bring some sort of fresh elements to each class could be cool. Don't need to go overboard. Like maybe one or two things, maybe one new spell, maximum two, I would say, because if they start doing more than that, it's gonna get hairy quickly. Look at how Sod ended up, right? But I think, yeah, a lot of the stuff with the talent trees, certain items, shit like that, definitely could get cleaned up. The thing is, you don't want everything homogenized either, right? Because then you just got retail. There needs to still be like stuff that's interesting and powerful and cool to like discover in the game and use. Because that's the whole thing with Classic, right? Your base is basically like finding busted shit and abusing it in creative ways, right? That's the fun part. But yeah, so I think I wouldn't change too much in the way of classes, but I think just adding a lot of content in. I made a short about this, I don't know, 6 months ago. Like, imagine they put in like a battle royale style battleground. Kind of how Blood Moon was, but not quite. Graphic class is 60 to 65 with new zones, unlocking Hydral and arenas. Bro, I actually, like, I think that Blizzard regrets ever putting arena in the game. Because I think that it's cost them a lot of time and energy. But there's not been that good reward because they haven't put enough energy into it. And it's kind of just, like, died, basically. So the, you know, subscription reward from it is just not there for them. Not anymore, anyway. But I still think it could be very interesting if they put arenas into Classic. And I think it'd be very interesting if they put 1v1 arenas into Classic. I think that could be super cool. Star looked at this and got his chat to vote on what people want. Let me see. Wait. What is this? Classic Plus feature. Why is it so low quality? Linkable professions. This is such a small thing. Like, I think that when things are really small, a lot of people don't feel that strongly about them. It's just like, yeah, this would be a nice quality of life thing. It doesn't actually impact the game that much. Chuck it in, right? Quality of life, stuff like this is really easy to you know, pass in, right? And I would say that this is not even something that you should even need to consider as Classic Plus, right? Like, let me fucking open this shit in Paint real quick. Okay, so this is like, there's no way this should have to be Classic Plus, right? Yeah, I'll go through some more in a bit, but wait, I need to get into SM. Hold on. I think that people don't actually realize how hard 1v1 arena would go in the proper setting, right? It would need to be, I don't think you could use the existing arenas for it because people would like lame forever and it would just get really long. I think you would need like 1 or 2 new arenas specifically designed for 1v1, right? Without a pillar that you can just kite around forever. Like have some kind of line of sight, but then a way of recatching up because it's small enough, right? It'd be so unbalanced. It's crazy. Yeah, but this is the thing, right? This is why you are doing Classic Plus, right? You make new spells and stuff with PvP in mind as well. And it's not just a class v class, right? You also have you have a vendor at the start in the starting area that sells consumables. And now, as a result of that, you can see obviously what class you're going to face. Now you can specifically tailor like 5 consumables or whatever, a specific set amount. Some cost more than others. Say you got 10 coins and you can spend those 10 coins on certain things. So like a health pot costs 1 coin, a fucking rocket helm costs like 3 coins or something, you know? It's just shit like that. Dust costs 2 coins as an example, right? And then you can tailor it. You're most likely going to have a different strategy to other people, and you can tailor that strategy to the class that you're facing. And that is going to smoothen out the imbalances in some matchups for sure. You can also, if one matchup is if you get data that say a matchup is really skewed, right? Because you're going to get that data for free, right? Just by people playing the game and within different rating brackets and whatnot, right? Because obviously a higher rating, a matchup might not be imbalanced. Whereas a lower rating, it might be like a noob stomper, right? So you're going to get this data, and you can say, okay, with this data, I can now adjust the costs of certain consumables for the class that has a favorable matchup into this other matchup. So they can't get as much of whatever consumable, or they can't get certain consumables, stuff like that, right? So you can easily adjust that, and then now you have a knob to dial without actually going in and having huge class changes. Stay in group for another 5. What level am I? I'm still level 20, bro. I didn't even get 1 level. I'm griefed. So yeah, I think that could be a really interesting thing if somebody actually with a clue oversaw it and managed it. Because I think there is huge potential for 1v1 arenas in WoW, in classics WoW specifically. Go and look at the Asmon tourney, bro. People loved watching those duels. Duels is fucking hype. Get some spectator client shit going as well. Fucking great. But like, yeah, for example, linkable professions. This shouldn't actually need to be Classic Plus. I think you can just chuck that in the main game. This, chuck it in the main game. Minor class changes and balancing. 95% on that. This is what we were talking about. Minor stuff, right? Small stuff like Lightwell that's useless. You know, getting something new, maybe. Certain other passive talents that are useless never get taken, maybe improved or changed into something else. Shit like that would be great, right? So this I'm all for. I don't think this needs to be Classic Plus. So I'm actually going to, like, say this should just be in the game anyway. Put that into regular Classic. This, 100% I'm for. New raids, absolutely. New content in general would be fantastic. Dual talents, again, doesn't need to be Classic Plus. I think dual talents just allows you to play the game more. Right? Is there anything about a dueling zone in here? There's nothing about a dueling zone. I mean, maybe further down. But a dueling zone where you can reset your talents would be so fucking good. World buff changes. I think that the world buff culture in WoW is actually... I think without it, Classic would die a lot faster. But I think that it's garbage. It's garbage. It's not fun. Imagine that there was no raiding, right? And the game was just getting world buffs. Would you play that game? Would you go and play that game? Going and just getting world buffs? Like, it's not fun to go and get world buffs, right? It's not. It doesn't add anything to the game, right? It makes your raid maybe a bit more fun, but then make the raids more fun, right? Make the fucking damage rotation more interesting, you know? This doesn't add anything to the game, so I don't think this should be a thing. I think this sucks. So world buff changes, I actually think is a good shout. I just think world buffs is really bad overall for the game. Hold tight. This guy was if you die for everything's ready, you don't have fun for the entire raid. It's just the whole thing is not. It doesn't add anything of value, right? I just think that if you're how do I? If you're doing something that achieves something else for some other content, but you would never do that first thing as a standalone content, then it's not good content, right? It's just not. You're spending time doing something that you don't want to do to improve and be able to realistically be able to do something that you do want to do, right? I think that translates to other things in the game, right? Like if you go and look at TBC, right? In TBC, we have to go and farm PvE gear to go and play arena. So we have to go and do something we don't want to do to be able to now go and do something we do want to do. What's better is if you farm the thing that you do want to do, and that makes you more powerful in that thing, right? Not everything has to be giving feeder crossover to other content, right? World buffs are good. It gives raiding almost a hardcore element. With world buffs, you try and keep yourself alive, which makes it more exciting. Yeah, but then why not just say, okay, every time you die in a raid, you lose 5% stats? Why do you have to go and get those for fucking half an hour beforehand and waste your fucking time? You can still have that hardcore element without wasting people's time doing stuff that they don't want to do, right? This is what I'm saying. Like, you can make the actual content the fun part, and you can bring the attributes that the world buffs bring in and bake it in without stealing people's time, basically. And let them actually have other avenues of content that they can do that are also fun, that they can spend their time doing in the game, as opposed to saying, okay, we need to keep people playing the game, we need to keep people subbing, how do we waste their time to get them to log onto the game, right? That's toxic as fuck. You know what I mean? I feel like that's how I would approach it anyway. Thanks for the sub, Josh. How you going, man? You good? New zones, fucking absolutely. More class-specific quests. I think this is like benediction style stuff, right? Which I actually think like having I don't know about class-specific quests per se, but just like quests that are actually a challenge and fun. It's just more content, right? I just don't see anything wrong with that, right? I think it reminds me of like Mage Tower, right, where it was actually a challenge to go and do it, and that was fun, right? And you didn't really get anything from it, so you didn't feel like you had to do it, but it was like you went and did it because it was fun and it was an achievement to complete it, rather than feeling forced to go and do something like how Torghast was, right? More quests in existing zones. I think that there's some zones that this is super true for, right? There's some zones that already have a ton of quests. Like, I don't think you would want to really add too much more in STV, right? For example, there's so much stuff to do in STV. But there's definitely some zones that have fuck all to do, like Deadwind and like Swamp of Sorrows and stuff like that. Azshara is a great example. And there's also, there's some quest lines that just fucking end. Remember the quest line that takes you to the Uldum? You have this huge long quest line that starts in Uldaman over here, right? With the discs. And then you finally get to Tanaris, like fucking 5 levels later. You hand it in, you get a chunk of XP, and then the quest just kind of fizzles. There's a couple of quests like that. I think following on from that would be great, right? I think that if you think about what world buffs actually are now, it's you pay 10 gold, you get summoned to DMT, you run through DMT, you halfstone back out. Right? It's like, and then the rest is like AFKing in Stormwind, and the biggest one is going and picking a Songflower, right? So then the argument that it creates world PvP is basically just people go to Felwood for Songflower, right? And so it's like there's way better ways of bringing the world to life and encouraging world PvP. Your Mary Jane Blaze, thank you for the T1. Well, 6 months, thank you. You know, and a lot of the time, right, the people that want to do world PvP is a completely different set of people to the people that want to go and get their world buffs. So now you're forcing the people that just want to get their world buff to go and raid to go and fight the people that want to PvP. It's dumb. Most of the time, you're not going to get a good fight out of that, right? Most of the time, the guy that wants the PvP is going to shit on the guy that just wants his world buffs. So it's not a good encounter, right? This is a big problem with world PvP, right? This is a huge problem with world PvP, right? Is that most of the time, and this is really annoying, right? Because I was world PvPing for a while, and this is a really annoying thing about it. Most of the time, most of the time, right, when you world PvP, you have a shitty fight, an imbalanced fight. Either you're way better than the other person, it's 1v1, or you're outnumbered and there's nothing you can do. And then, like, 1 in 100 times, you maybe get a fight where just enough people come at just the right rate that you can have a good fight against them. You know, maybe 1v2, where they don't have all CDs, stuff like that. And then it's like, then you can have like a banger fight occasionally as a result. But it's so rare that that actually happens. And that's where you need to sort of replicate this world PvP vibe in a battleground with more than just like 20 people and with more than forcing everyone into one spot, right? That's the big thing. You want to spread people out in an even distribution rather than just clumping them all up in one spot, which is Blizzard's idea of world PvP, right? They always say, okay, we'll put everyone here and fight for a boss, and then it lags balls and is unplayable. That's not what they want to do. It's really, really, really bad. They need to spread people out over a zone and then give them things, you know, give them a reason to be fighting over the spread out zone. So I don't think the world buffs is the way to instigate world PvP. And I think that saying it's like buying enchants is almost like it's not the same because you're not buying the enchants every week, right? You farm up your gold and then you spend it on an enchant to augment an item that you've received or whatever from the raid, and then you use that for a while. You know, if you die, you don't lose that enchant. So it's like it actually feels good to sort of progress and improve your character. So if you want to do that, you can go and spend the time getting that gold. So I don't think that those two are similar. And I don't think that everyone should be doing everything for free. But what my point is that if you're going to require people to do certain things, you should keep the content avenues similar. And the content that you're doing to build yourself up for some other content should also be fun. It should be fun on its own, right? As a standalone piece. Get me? It shouldn't be like, oh, I've got to do this really boring thing now to be able to go and do the thing I want to do. Right? That's the thing I take issue with. Blood Moon was a very good example. until people realized lag in the demon area was yeah, people just min-maxed the shit out of it and it lagged balls. They had to take the fucking boss, the troll boss out. Just passively buff if they want to keep token game the same, right? Passively buff that shit. Boring is subjective though. I mean, does anyone like going and getting wild buffs before every single raid? Like, I don't get it. What's your point? Like, is anyone out here just going and getting wild buffs? They log on, they go and get their wild buffs, and then they AFK and storm them while they tick down. And then when they've ticked down, they go and get some more wild buffs. Is anyone playing the game like that? Is anyone doing that? Is that something that people find fun? Yeah, it's about making yourself stronger for the raid, right? But I think that imagine that the process of getting wild buffs was also fun, right? That's my point. What if you had to go and fuck? What do we even is a good example? I guess it's hard to think of something on the spot that would actually be, you know, long-lasting fun, but some kind of trial that is not the same every time. That rewards you with a buff at the end of it or some shit. And that you also have like a leaderboard for time completion, or like you get rewarded more for completing it quickly or well or something like that. I mean, there's no arena at 60, right? How much gold per level? I don't know, man. Like 20 gold for 5 runs. I've not been following because I've been doing my horde as well. A lot of races don't require to get world buffs. I mean, half the time I didn't get world buffs because I couldn't be bothered. But I think that if you wanted to, like, if you were in, I guess, the upper 50%, and this is a culture problem as well, right? But I feel like if you're in the upper 50%, you were kind of expected to get them, right? And like if you join a soft res run, if you didn't have them, you would get like -1 roll and shit like that, right? But yeah, I just don't think it adds anything to the game at all. The classic. I think that almost it's a sign that there's not enough content at 60, right? Because like a lot of the time people are only logging on outside of raid to go and get world buffs, right? Because there's nothing else to do. I mean, we're not talking about PvP at all right now, Arcane. This is an entirely PvE focused conversation, right? We haven't, like, this is nothing to do with PvP, right? The issue is that there are things in the game that you're forced to do that you would never do normally if that was the game. I think that the idea of having some kind of risk where you are going to perform worse in the raid if you die makes it more fun to actually do the raid. I completely agree with that, Hungry Men. I think that absolutely you're spot on with that. I think that it makes you pay attention more and actually try more if you want to actually do anything of value, right? I think that's cool. But I think that going and doing content that you don't want to do to be in that situation, I don't think is good or healthy for the game in, you know, any kind of long run stance. I think it would be much cooler if the way that transpired was either automatic by going into the raid. Every time you die, you lose some power. Or like maybe when you kill a boss, you get some power that you then lose if you die, something like that. That stacks up, some shit like that. Or you just have some other content avenue that people actually enjoy doing that is now a precursor to going to doing the raid, right? I think that's the key takeaway, right? People should actually be able to go and do that content on its own and it be able to stand and hold up on its own. I think some PvE players do enjoy going and farming their items and sending them in for a bath and getting some resource nodes in process. I mean, this is what I'm saying though, right? Like, and I think there's a difference between farming certain things and getting rewards for them and going and getting summoned to DMT and running through it and talking to an ogre of a pre-cleared dungeon and then going and standing AFK in Stormwind waiting for the fucking head of an Ixia to pop. Just, you know, you're not going to do that shit and then not raid. You would never do that shit if that was the game, right? You would never play that game. Yo, Therese! Thank you for the 98. Thank you. Subs are coming in, boys. My sub count is bugged? No. Why did it only say 1? It is actually bugged. Wait. Is it only counting new subs? Gammon's wife. Thank you for the T1 as well. Wait, let me end it and start it again. It's fucking bugged. Dude, this is like a Twitch thing as well. I don't know why it would be bugged. I don't think World Buffs were really considered in 2009. Oh, bro, it was a big fucking thing in Apes, at least, I'll tell you. How to get access to your playlist? I'll link it. Hold on. Where is it? Memory of World Buffs in OG Classic was that it was a community event when some guild killed an Ixia. Oh yeah, in original, yeah. I mean, there was so much less min-maxi culture in original Classic. It was crazy. Like way less. So yeah, more quests in existing zones. I think this would be good. Again, this is content, right? I think Classic Plus, just adding in content would be fantastic. Longer buffs. I think maybe for Palace. Honestly, like, I actually don't care that much. As a priest, I don't care that much about this. What I would like to see is a mana cost reduction in the buffs. Right? I don't care about fort being longer. I just want to, like, because you still have to fucking rebuff all the time, right? It's the fact that it costs an arm and a leg to actually buff it. That's the annoying thing. So I don't know about this for priest. This is like a Pala thing, I think. Dungeon raid maps. Sure, why not? I mean, again, this is like one of those things that it's like kind of little quality of life things. They could add this into Classic, you know? I don't think they even need to add this to Classic Plus. Integrate profession. I didn't even read this one. Integrate professions further into raiding. I feel like this is kind of like if you look at like catcher and stuff. There's like these things at the start of the dungeon, right, where you can have a profession and click it and something happens. You get like some sort of a benefit or buff or something. I can't even remember what it was. I feel like this could get tiring real fast if it's like something that you have to do every raid. If it's like patterns and stuff dropping in the raid and the item actually being useful and doing something unique, then that would be really cool. Right? I think that could be really cool if that's what it is. But if it's like, oh yeah, you've got to go and fish up a boss every fucking raid, I feel like fishing up Lurker Below is a chore. If you got to go and mine your way through a fucking wall or something every raid, it's going to be a chore. It's fun the first 1 or 2 times, and then after that, you're like, for fuck's sake, we've got to mine this wall again. It's like... So, I think crafting-wise, great, but I don't think it's something that you should have to do every raid. Did SOD P1 do it well? You needed something from dungeons to craft epics. Was cool. Kind of do it once thing. Yeah, if you had like an item that was decent for you. I actually liked the way the boot thing worked. I think it was boots. But I think the problem with the boots was the boots were just insanely gross, right? This was the problem with the boots in SOD. They didn't make them scale down over levels, right? So you basically just had this mandatory item that had 30% fucking PS on them. Off global. No mana cost. That you could use while silenced. And you basically had to use it at 40 as well, right? You just didn't have an option. Because they were way too good. But yeah, the concept was good. And the quest line was cool as well. I think SOD first 2 phases was good for that. Increase quest cap to 30. Yeah, again, I don't think this needs to be Classic Plus. This is like... All the ones I've crossed out, by the way, are ones that I think just should be in the game. I don't think that you need Classic Plus to put those in. I think you just put those in. They're just quality of life. They don't fuck up too much with the game. Leveling challenges. What? So this is like achievements for making levels in a certain amount of time? Isn't this going to be just buffed so much by getting boosted? Or would it be like you have to complete specific quests to get the achievement? I think this could be cool. This could add some more flavor to leveling and make the process more interesting. So I don't think this is a bad shout. I'm not against this. Guild Bank. Who cares, honestly? I don't know. Like, do guilds feel like they need a guild bank? This is like 89% popular. Like, who the fuck cares about guild bank? I don't know. I feel like I've never given a shit about guild bank. Yeah, I see what you mean, Zella. Yeah, I think that would be good. I think the changes are not radical enough for Classic Plus. I hope it feels like a new game entirely. I think they need to bring in a ton of new content for Classic Plus. I don't think that they need to fuck with the classes too much. Because I think that if they fuck with the classes too much, I don't think they actually have the understanding of the class dynamics to actually do that. Like, straight up. In the nicest way possible. I think that if they want to do that, they have to really, really, really listen to people that actually know what's going on with the classes. It still needs to feel like Classic, in my opinion. It needs to feel like Classic, but you've actually, like, got more shit to do now. Did I enjoy SOD overall? I really enjoyed the first 2 phases of SOD. And I thought they did a lot of stuff well. They did some stuff wrong. I think all the PvP stuff they did in SOD was awful other than Blood Moon. And Blood Moon could have been insane, but they fucked it up. There was a lot of stuff that they could have improved and done to Blood Moon to make it really fucking good, like repeatable content the whole way through 40, right? But I played 50. 50 was the last phase I played. Didn't really like 50. 50 felt a lot about just going and farming some quests. And it felt like there wasn't that much else to do. So 50 kind of sucked. And then Blood Moon came back at 50, but then again didn't get improved at all. Blood Moon was fun if you had a group with healer. I mean, it was. I played a lot of Blood Moon, right? We played Shadow. Shadow was busted. And we had like a resto druid, I think it was healer. We had a disc healer, and then 2 boomies or something like completely cooked. Or a mage as well. I think we had. I can't remember. We played a bunch of different comps, but we played a bunch with Z and stuff like that, and it was fun, but it lagged balls, right? That was a big thing. It lagged balls, and certain altars were a real chore to actually fight at, right? And I can't remember all the specifics, but like, just because something's fun doesn't mean you can't make it better, right? So I think that spreading players out, I don't think clustering everyone into one spot is the way it will for a battle royale style thing like that, right? I think if they spread everyone out, there would have been less lag, right? Because not every player needs to send every bit of data to every other player, right? Once you're out of range, a lot of those players, you don't need to get their data. So immediately you're going to get a lot less lag. So the lag happened because they have the troll boss, right? And people find, oh, we can just go fight at the troll boss and we get extra blood points, right? I don't think that they needed to actually layer stuff to the degree that they did, because the layering caused problems as well. But what I actually think they should have done is they should have made it a queue system, right? And had a set amount of players in each blood moon, right? And it's almost instance. It's an instance version of STV, right? And so you walk into STV, you also get queued if it's blood moon, something like that, and then you pop in, and now you're in an instance zone with like fucking however many other players. But you spawn in at a random location, right? In, you know, a set portion of the map, right? You have your 5 altars. Some of the altars needed adjusting in position. You can have like 8 potential altar spawns, right? Like I think the troll ruins up the top could have been cool too. They just didn't use it at all. Reduce the number of mobs. Mobs are annoying as fuck. If not, remove them all altogether. Troll boss blood moon buff needed to go, because that forces everyone into one spot. Sucks. You want to keep people spread out, and you want to have them fighting over certain things that are also available in other places on the map, right? Which is the altars, right? And then what you have is you have a 30-minute battle with the altars slowly despawning, right? And you want to be able to get out with your altar, dark and darker style, right? So you can leave at any point with your blood points. If you die, you lose your blood points. So you can play it safe and get out of the altar after getting a few blood points, or you can keep fighting and you go for longer. The longer you're in the game, now you're going to be fighting as other good people as well, right? So the matchups are a lot of the time going to be very, very balanced, or more balanced than you had before. And because everyone's a bit more spread out, there's less chance that you get stabbed. Yeah, an extraction style game, but STV. I think 100% mounts wasn't too bad. You also need to think, you don't want people to leave their starting point by too much, right? Because you want to try and preserve as good of a spread of players as possible, right? And then you have an option to queue up as, like, say, 1 player, so you can have a solo one. I would say 2, 3, maybe. I don't know. I don't think spreading it out too much would be too good. So maybe 3 players and 5 players. Could be cool. Blood Moon, but every 2 hours in a random zone in each continent. I mean, that would go hard, right? That's like 2.0 version. I think if they got the STV concept right, that would be the next thing I would say. Like, imagine it in like Syrian Gorge or something. It would be fucking sick. And yeah, new rewards, stuff like that. They could have done so much with Blood Moon, man. I think for me, Blood Moon was one of the most creative new things that they've done in so long, and it was really sad that they didn't really spend more effort on it, because I think it could have gone really hard. But yeah, that's the Blood Moon changes I would have done. Does he Sinks in my chat? What's up, Sinks? Yeah. I can't remember how we got onto this, but yeah, that's what I would have done with it. But yeah, overall I enjoyed SOD. I did a lot of PvP, world PvP at 25. And a fair bit at 40 as well. But yeah, 50 was kind of bland, so I didn't play it after that. But again, they did some interesting stuff. They tried a lot of stuff as well, and I think that was almost the point of it. I think they weren't afraid to just try shit that completely was a train wreck, and I think that's okay. So yeah, they had some really cool abilities and stuff like that. They had some dire stuff as well, like instant fucking Star Surge or whatever it was for Balance Druid from 50 yards away, one-shotting people. Optimized flight paths. I mean, does this need to be Classic Plus again? I don't think this needs to be Classic Plus. This one, I actually think, sure. Guild Bank, I mean, I don't know. Does anyone here care about Guild Bank? Like, am I cooked for not caring? Challenging events around the world. Yeah, I think this is cool. Again, more content, right? Raid-wide buffs. I like this. I like the fact that you have your own groups that you have to buff. I think this makes it more retaily. I'm surprised that 86% of people like this. I think you just reduce the mana cost of buffs. I don't think they need to be raid wide. Modern auction house. If you're only priest buffing 8 group, bro, I'll buff 8 groups as the only priest all day if I get prio on the priest loot. What do you mean? That's fucking hype. But it's like if the other priests are shit at the game, then you flame them, right? Like that's the whole thing. You need to actually all play the game. Yeah, if you're just like pressing a fucking one button an hour, it's kind of like what's the fucking point of the buffs? You know, it might as well be automatic when you like zone in. I think it takes a little bit of the value away from it. But I do think they need to reduce the mana. I think the mana cost is too high, like half it or something. So yeah, this one I actually don't agree with. First one I don't agree with. Modern auction house, I don't know if I agree with this. I feel like you've got so many add-ons to actually manage the auction house. To be fair, I don't really care as long as the auction house doesn't lag. That's all I care about. Is if the auction house doesn't lag, then I don't give a shit. Reworked itemization for existing items. Nope, I don't agree with this. I think that go nuts adding new stuff, trying new items, stuff like that. But I think that the actual current items, if you go and rework all of the itemization for everything, you just have retail. Everything's very homogenized and boring. So I actually don't agree with this. This is like part of what makes Classic classic. So I don't agree with that. So many is the quality of life who cares points makes me worry. I mean, this is the higher approval rating stuff, right? Like I think that it's natural that the very safe quality of life stuff that does not that can't really negatively impact anyone is always gonna get higher approval ratings, right? So we haven't gotten down to the other stuff yet, but that makes sense, right? We just haven't got to the other stuff yet. Dual crafting, nah. Built-in questy, yes. I actually think this probably just should be built into the game, to be honest. Poll-based system added to vote. What? Why no JC? I just don't think you need to add that shit into classic. I don't know. Maybe I'm cooked. Maybe it doesn't really matter that much. To be fair, I don't feel strongly either way about it. Fuck it. We'll put a tick. But yeah, definitely no reworked itemization. Modern auction house, I don't really care. Fuck it. Why? I mean, I kind of like the old auction house. I don't really like the new one. Poll is for every new thing being added. Oh yeah, no, I think that's good. Yeah. That would be good. Barber, sure. Modernize diminishing returns TBC. Hell yeah, bro, that'd be fucking great. Modernize diminishing returns and no heartbeat. No fucking heartbeat. RB is needed unless they're going to give a gig enough classes. I mean, that's the thing, right? If your poly doesn't last 40 seconds, don't know if you need it. All right, let's see what else we've got. Hey, Kim, what did you just do? All right, Venerous. Okay, so we've got... All right, we're down to the 81% now. Horizontal gear prog. What does that even mean? Is that like other options for different stuff? Honey Kitten, you're causing problems, mate. Oh, it's Lil Lee with the prime. Thank you, Lil Lee. It means items from Molten Core are still good in Nax. I feel like that's really hard to pull off. I don't know if that's good. I actually don't know if that's good. Like, who the fuck is like raiding Nax and is like, man, now we've got to go MC again because we've got to go and get like court banned. Like, no one wants to do that shit. I don't think that's good. Or like, oh shit, we're doing Nax, but we've got to go back and run Blackwing Lair every week so we get Rejuve gems. Like, I don't know, man. For me, that's boring as hell. Am I cooked? I feel like if you're gonna have that, then you also need other what's the word? Other reasons for people to go and do the raids. Right? Like a reward for clearing in a faster time or something. You know, you go clear Blackwing Lair if you clear it with fewer deaths or like in a faster time or whatever, or be faster than average, something like that, you get a buff for your next raid. There you go, there's your world buffs. Now you've got your pre-farming your fucking old ass gear that you still need. And you get your world buffs at the same time. Covering it, wait. I think you gotta move, man. Okay, so I actually think you either have to incentivize beyond just going back to, say you're doing Nax, right? You have to incentivize beyond just going back and doing Blackwing Lair, flipping 1 year later to get more Rejuve gems, right? There needs to be something else, some other reason to incentivize you to do that raid, right? Other than just items. That's my take on it. Either that or the items that are potentially better are only in the previous raid, right? So it's only one raid back that you have to go. So you're not just farming like literal first raids to just try and get shit. What about Hodge from BRD? I mean, Hodge from BRD is different, right? Because you're not time gated on it. You can just spam farm it, rather than doing it once per week. But I guess you mean like it's just gross for the whole game. Okay, yeah. I mean, maybe certain items like that need adjusting, but It's like, would that need nerfing, or would the new trinkets just need to be better? Because I do think that it's interesting to have certain things that are really good. You know, maybe even like 1-2 raids in, but I don't think it should be best the entire way. I think maybe replace. I maybe again, maybe it's the same thing, right? Maybe you should be replacing those stuff, and like you should be replacing any like completely cracked dungeon loot in Blackwing Lair, right? So then you're basically always, you know, if you're 2 tiers ahead, you're always going to be replacing the things from 2 tiers ahead. So like all the MC loot is replaced by AQ. So that way there's at least a little bit of flavor for you to go back and you know, maybe keep an item through a tier because it's so good and you're like buzzing that you got it, right? And it feels really good to keep playing with that item for, you know, months. But then you don't have to go back 2 fucking raids to go and get shit. You know, there might be something from MC that's better than anything in Blackwing Lair. So it's not directly, it's like it's somewhere in between, I would say, vertical and horizontal at least. I don't know. That's the at least how I would perceive it. I don't know about you guys. I do think that like the gear that satisfies a specific purpose potentially later in the game that you have to keep and maybe you don't use all the time is interesting, right? I think stuff like that adds a lot of flavor and adds a lot of interesting, and maybe not everyone gets it. Maybe it's somewhat rarer, but it doesn't mean that you cannot absolutely do the content later. But if you have it, you're gonna have a nice advantage, right? Stuff like that is cool, right? Hey, I saved this fucking random item for 2 tiers and now we did a boss where it's actually fucking good and useful. The problem with that is the min-max Andes are going to be like, oh, well, we can't compete now because we didn't get a random drop. So it's hard, right? All my fucking Eli searches on YouTube, goddammit. Dancing fruit and shit. Goddamn. Jesus, that's fucking old. Right. I don't use this account anymore on my phone. Dude, you're gonna be on that soon, Zelly, mate. You're gonna be on that shit soon, bro. Dancing fruit, actual brain rot. Dude, the dancing fruit was sick. To me, we're describing the current classic. Nah, bro. Yo, Juju J, thank you for the prime, man. Don't watch Cocomelon. That's my advice. Don't ever put Cocomelon on. That shit is the real brain rot, bro. Dads in the chat know what I'm talking about, man. Fuck Cocomelon. We need Hydra reacts to dancing fruit. You mean to find the dancing fruit? Wait, let me show you dancing fruit. I'll show you what this actually is, mate. You're gonna be fucking lolling. Imagine this shit on my TV, bro. Miss Rachel is a banger. To be fair, he had this when he was like 6 months old, and he was loving this. But this was like, if we really needed him to like lock in and chill, you know, and we needed to get something done, this is what we had to put on, because it would just fucking chill him out no matter what. But yeah, there's a lot of shit if you just play it. If you just put that shit on 24/7. Bro, the dads know, man. Wait, let me see. So this is the new patch thing. We can close this. There's some new patch. We don't know more. Saw this already. How do we go from horizontal gear prog to down? Oh, I clicked on the search box. It was just the top thing. I actually think, again, somewhere in between. I think it's boring the way retail does it, right? Where you like go into a new red and you know that every single thing that you've got is going to be useless and gone. I ran into the wrong one. Remove 1% hiss. Wait. Remove 1% miss when hit capped. 34%. So he's got 34% PvPers, basically. I don't know why anyone would not want that, to be fair. That's Loki tapped. Like, what the fuck is that? Who wants to have 1% miss? I don't get that. Who are these people? That's fucking crazy, man. Remove heartbeat, 17%. Did he pop off? Nah, bro. Like, I'm sorry. Zara's viewers are completely tapped. 17% want heartbeat removed. I think, you know what I think this is? I think that they're like, oh, if the heartbeat's not removed, I'm going to sit in poly all day. Right? The thing is, you can't just remove heartbeat in classic. So I kind of see why people wouldn't want that. But you can't only do that on its own, right? You need to adjust the CC as well as removing heartbeat. Why did you buy something then? That, bro, I bought it when it's called Fetch, and I wasn't looking at the name. I was looking at the product. Right, move. Okay. See what we've got here. So horizontal gear prog. I think like half. This is low res fucking shit, Zelly. Oh my god. I'll give that a half. Why is it not red? I need red. I agree to a degree, but it's like there's a limit to it. Keep combos on target swap rogue / druid. Yeah, I think they're not. I don't know, man. I feel like it adds an element of skill to managing your combos that you can't just swap target, but I also think it makes it a lot more clunky to actually play. So, wait, have you got new picks? What the hell, Zoe? So I actually think, yeah. Dual area with a CD reset button. Hells yeah. Lower mana cost on buffs. That's what we were talking about. 2v2 arenas. Hell yeah. 3v3 arenas. I'm liking these numbers, by the way. Very nice. Rated battlegrounds. Nope. Warlock summon closet. I'm not even gonna elaborate on this. Warlock summon closets. That's so they can like AoE summon people instead of having to spam shards on it. Sure, why not? I don't think it's I don't think this needs to be in Classic Plus. I think they should just get this. New race class combos. I think this could be interesting. I'm not against this. I think that could be interesting and bring some fresh new stuff. Nameplate range 40. Oh yes. Oh yes. But I mean, this needs to be in the fucking game regardless. Hell yes. But these shouldn't be Classic Plus. Instant Mail. Oh, yes. Updates on old raids, new bosses / mechanics. I think if they did this, there needs to be a heroic mode or whatever. You need to have the normal old raid without any touches, and then you need to have like then once you complete that, it unlocks a second tier of the raid or whatever with new bosses, mechanics, whatever, with new loot. Maybe not objectively better loot, but more items, so you can go and get them from new shit. Either that or you make it so that you can combo this with your horizontal progression, right? Where you go, you do like MC, right? So you have MC, and then you have Blackwing Lair, and then you also have MC2, right? And then MC2 has some of MC's banger items in, but it also has some new shit in that's kind of on the Blackwing Lair level, and that way you kind of have this this horizontal gear progression where if you've got this like court banded MC, you can now still get it in MC2, but you have a reason to farm MC2 that isn't just court band. There's other good shit in there as well, so you don't have to go back to MC1. Yeah, so like MC heroic, which is like equivalent to Blackwing Lair, right, on the same tier. They come out at the same time, so this is like P1, this is P2, and then you just put the banger shit from MC also into the MC heroic. So yeah, that's that. I think that's not a bad way of going about it. I kind of like that. Well done, me. Okay. Additional BGs. Yeah, why not? Toggle on and off XP. Yeah, doesn't really matter. Heroic dungeons. Yeah. Remove combat add-ons. No. Remove wild buffs from raid. Yes. I think removing combat add-ons would not be... I mean, I'm not like hard no against it. But I also think that the game's UI needs improving if they're going to do that. There's certain things that need to be shown on the base UI that don't get shown at the moment, and it would make the game objectively less fun to not see this shit. So, I think half. It would be good, but with extra steps. My take. Remove world buffs from raids. I just think that's not a bad thing at all. I think that'd be solo challenges like Mage Tower. Yeah, hell yeah. We were talking about that earlier as well. 1v1 regions. I can't believe this is down at 69%. Like, this must be for memes, right? Achievements. Yeah, I don't really care. I need a sign for like I don't care. Don't care. Horde, Pala, Alliance, Shaman. Yeah, I think it balances things out a bit. AoE looting, sure. Actually, again, I don't really care that much, but it's kind of nice quality of life. Collections tab, don't care. Shaman tank, don't care. Remove rank 14 gear being BIS in PvE. Oh, hell yeah. Okay, so this is kind of what we were talking about earlier, right? Where if you're a PvEer and you have to go and farm rank 14 to get gear that's BIS for you for PvE, this is a fucking ball ache, right? If you don't enjoy PvP. And this is what we were saying earlier. This kind of translates back to other stuff as well. So I would probably include that in this. But basically, if you like doing one type of content, that type of content should provide you with the stuff that you need for that content, right? You shouldn't have to go and do some other content that you don't like to do. So I actually agree with this. I think this is perfectly, because you need to look at it from the opposite side, right? Where as a PvPer, if I go into arena, I don't really care that much about PvE. I don't want to have to go to PvE and to farm my BIS gear. So I think this is completely reasonable to say. Camp-wide achievements, yeah, I think that's fine. I think the achievements are interesting once, but going and doing it multiple times kind of sucks. Summoning stones, I think, okay, so I think this is okay, but I also think that, no, you know what, I think it's fine. Like, there's the whole oh, people are not going to be out in the world as much if they're just getting summoned everywhere. What like let's be honest, what's going to happen in Classic? There's going to be people now, instead of Warlocks at level 20, there's going to be people just waiting at the summoning stones, charging for summons to certain places. And I think that the barrier for entry to do that is a lot lower than making a Warlock. But maybe if they made the summoning stones require a certain level to be used, then it I guess makes it a bit harder. So I mean, maybe it's not the worst. I don't think it's objectively that bad. You know, people are gonna do it regardless, so it is what it is. Disc tank. Fucking hell, dude. You need to chill down. Okay, offhand, hit chance, rework. I'm actually completely... This is not a question for me, I think. Because I play Priest, and this completely doesn't affect me, so I'm impartial. I think it probably does need a rework, because you needed like an absurd amount of hit, which is kind of dumb. Additional flight paths. I think additional graveyards. At least in some zones. I don't know if that's going to be on here, but there's probably are some places that could use a flight path, like Rebel Camp, for example. I don't think they need to go too overboard with it, but there's definitely some stuff that needs work. HD graphic toggle like Kata Mob. Again, don't care. I think that, sorry, I should put a tick on this one because I think that this is... I don't really care about this. Remove logging capabilities. Nah, wait, is this the Care Bears that have grey logs that don't like this? Who doesn't like this? It must be the grey loggers, dude. Like, I'm sorry, but anyone that is like remotely competitive and into PvEing, like, I don't know, doesn't give a crap about this. Like, you either want it or you don't give a crap if you're like decent at all. No one that's decent actually thinks that this needs to go, because it doesn't actually hurt them in any way. Right? The only people this impacts is bad players that don't get into groups because they're bad. And I can see why they don't want that, right? Right? I can absolutely understand why they wouldn't want that. There are already enough players with goodish logs that play super bad. Imagine playing with great. I think that I don't. Okay, so here's my issue with logs, all right? And I do have some issues with logs, but I think that logs do not tell you about a player's entire skill set, right? There's certain things that it does tell you, but it doesn't tell you everything, and people could be really, really bad at other stuff. So I think that having... What about 10 weeks of logs to get an average? I think, honestly, like, maybe having something in-game that is you can toggle on, that shows other players that you're either experienced at something without having to like link anything. They can literally just click your name or whatever and see, okay, this guy's got experience in this regard, he's done this, he's done that, he's gotten this overall score metric at this content. We're happy with that. But I think that you need to be able to turn that off, and if you want to join a group that requires that, then that's up to you, right? You don't have to have that on for every group. And I think it's then you have a tool to maybe judge people in the more competitive groups. I don't know if that's like singling out people too much, but also if you just lie about your experience, turn up to a raid, suck balls and wipe the raid, it sucks for everyone as well, right? So There's definitely going to be raids that don't have the logs on, right? I mean, I would assume. I don't know. Maybe I'm naive. Maybe I'm naive. You also get people like Pika who refuse to surrender. That's what I mean, though, right? There needs to be some kind of metric / score for how well you performed, right? And then you could also have a looting system. We talked about this before as well, but a looting system that's based on your in-game like score metric for how you've performed, that has a bunch of different variables that you need to do well in. And if you perform over average, then you get to roll higher. And if you perform under average, then you roll lower. And then you can also have that average metric score that is visible on your profile or character. So I don't know, you know, if they added in something like that, I could see remove logging capabilities. But I think it's really hard. If they just straight up removed logging, how do you then determine whether a player is good or not? You know, we used to look at fucking players' gems and shit back in OG, and you would look at someone's gems and you'd be like, yeah, this guy sucks. If they had dumb gems. This is the other thing, right? This is what I was saying about like good players don't care about this being removed. Like a lot of players that are competitive enjoy the competitive nature of this, right? And that taking that away sucks for them as well, which is why I said they need to really add another option for that. So it's tough. I think I'm gonna put a dash on that because I think that there's more. What's the word? It's not a yes or no answer. I think that there's more depth to this. What up, Dreamy? Yeah, there's more nuance to it. I don't think you can just say yes or no. Because if you take it away, it's going to impact a lot of people, and if you leave it in, it still impacts a lot of people. I think that there's something to take from this, and I think that incorporating this with some kind of a loot system would be really healthy for the game, because I think soft res sucks, and I think GDKP is, I mean, pay to win to a degree, right? So there's definitely some kind of middle ground there, but it's not an easy answer. Enchanting Vellums. What the fuck is Enchanting Vellums? Hearthstone cooldown 30 minutes. Yes, I like that. Rework over removal. What does that even mean? Like if something's bad, to rework it rather than just sub it out. Enchants on scrolls. Yes. As an antisocial player, hell yes. Although, to be fair, I was literal official enchanter for OnlyFans. I don't give a shit what Pirate says. Getting on a horse takes time, and on a raptor much more. Yeah, man, you got so much experience getting on raptors, haven't you, Sinks, bro? This guy. %42% focus targeting. I mean, again, we're not really looking at this too much. This is just like Zara's chat that has voted on this. So that I think that says more about Zara's chat than how valuable this would actually be. You don't have to use it. There's no reason for you to use focus targeting if you don't want to, right? And you don't lose anything from that. There is no burden on you to use this. People don't want it because they're like, oh, I'm going to have to use focus targeting. I'm going to have to get used to something new. You don't have to use focus targeting if you don't want to. Okay. So don't use it. This is a bad representation, I think, of this. I think this is very important, valuable to the game. Brock's voice chat. This could be fun. Being able to toggle this on. I think this could be a cool feature. I think that there would be some questionable Monkatos stuff going on over it, but I think overall it could be fun. So yeah. Flex raiding. Brock's chat and shuffle. Bro, I don't think you'd be able to stream that, like, genuinely. I don't think you'd be able to stream proximity chat shuffle. I think you would genuinely get banned off Twitch. I would shill coins on proxy. Dude, we had a guy in his shilling coins the other day. So just some random garbage altcoins. I don't know if he's here right now, but it was among us. SEAL Team Gang. It wouldn't even be a SEAL Team Gang, bro. Like, SEAL Team Gang would just be them coming into range and spamming the N-word. Like, actually. Like, that's the level of cretins they are. I know I was here. Yeah, totally Monkas. It was Sinks' ult. Let's be real. I've seen enough Sinks, mate. I know it was your ult. Need a disclaimer. I cannot control what my teammates say in shovel. Yeah, but I swear you would still get banned, dude. Fucking hell, Josh. Man just rampaging around his room and just hear it in the background of Frog's chat. I'm level 21. Let's see what XP per hour we've been getting. To be fair, it's not bad. Like 50k in each one. But the weight is kind of gross in between. Base Joe. Am I gonna get banned? What do you mean 4 expansions, Joe? It's been like that for 4 expansions since before you even played PvP, bro. I remember when Joe was a little baby PvEer. And he wasn't a little he wasn't exactly what I want to say at all times. He was chill, bro. Joe used to be the most calmest person, right? I used to know Joe when he was so calm. Used to be the most chill dude. And PvP has ruined Joe, bro. He's ruined Joe for everyone. I swear. What made Joe crack, bro? Retail ruined Joe, I swear. I want chill Joe back, dude. I feel like I've gone the other direction. I'm more just apathetic. At this point, I just don't give a shit. Oh, love Joe. He's been doing an M+ arc with friends, and it's the most chill vibes. Is he not raging now? Dude, I'm telling you, bro. Chill Joe is the best. His best Joe. Arena is not good for Joe, man. I'm telling you. He needs to boy that shit straight off. Right. Shorter mount time. Yes, fuck it. Cool. War mode instead of PvP servers. I mean, if you had one big server and then war mode, I think that's fine. Right? I actually think this is not bad. PvP trinket 2 minutes. Yes. Absolutely. Remove 1% miss. Yes. Absolutely. Shared mob tags for questing. No. The mob tagging is part of the game. New classes. Hell no. Hire new specs. No. This kind of stuff, Blizzard does not understand the game enough to actually fucking do this stuff. And this is not a flame. This is just how it is. There's way too many like new devs that don't understand the game, that haven't played the game like absolute degenerates for 12 hours a day for 10 years straight. Right? And like they just can't do this. It will be a fucking mess. A vague memory of Joe getting glad in season 8 Wrath the Lich King as a full Beast warrior with Shadow Maul as double healer. Yeah, that's when he was like still a PvEer. He would like come with. I can't remember. I knew him through someone, and he was like a PvEer in someone's guild or whatever, and he just come. He was like interested in PvP. He would come and like would do some games. He didn't try hard with it that much. He was just out there popping big down with his gear. But I feel like Joe properly started PvPing. Like I feel like it was in like MOP, man. I don't think it was even in Kata. Maybe it was Kata. It was around then. But back then, Joe was like full mellowed out, man. PvP ruined Joe, man. I'm telling you. Joe needs to go back to his PvE roots. Transmog, yeah, why not? Who cares? Remove weapon skill. I feel like that when they're talking about remove weapon skill, they're talking about like edgies and stuff, right? And not, hey, I got a new mace, now I need to train mace skill. Does that matter that much? Is that annoying? Maybe they need to homogenize the weapon skill, right? Instead of having like sword skill, mace skill, fucking polearm skill, all this shit for melees that can use all those, they just need to have one thing, right? So it's not like, oh, I got a new weapon, but I can't use it because I've got no skill. I've got to go and hit boars for 10 hours now to get skill up, right? Because that's dumb. So I think a change here would be good. I'll just put a dash, but I don't think it should be gone completely. I think it is part of the game, but I think that they could chill it down a bit. Heroism, bloodlust. People don't want this. 22%. Expertise. Yeah, just expertise, and then that's all your weapons. Could be good. Expertise skill. Isn't that the whole make it raid wide so you don't need 5 shamans per raid? Oh, yeah. I mean, if that's what that's about, then I think that's good. I don't think having 25 shamans is the way. Alliance should get bloodlust. I also agree with. I think Palas on Horde and shamans on Alliance is not bad. Glyphs. I think glyphs has the potential to be really cool, but they need to actually be like smart about how they do it. And I don't know if I trust them to do it well. Because they could do some really cool adjustments to different abilities so they work in different ways. That could be really interesting. So I'm like kind of for this, but this is like the same book as like this stuff, right? It's just a little less impactful, right? As a whole new class or a new spec. But like they could still ruin the game with this, right? Like, let's be honest. So maybe. I don't know. Dungeon Finder, no. More than 2 profs, no. Level cap increase. I don't know. Somebody was saying about making it go to 65. And I think that maybe is gonna bring in some really booky talent builds. Right? Like, what was it? Hunters can get like Scattershot and BM or something. There was a hunter that had a bugged version of that. Was that in TBC? Like, you would definitely need to keep an eye on the talent trees if you did that, because it could make some really booky shit with 5 more talents. Maybe 2, 3 more points instead of 5. Yeah, but that's so like ugly. You know what I mean? Oh my god, Leisha stood right next to me. Why are you looming? Oh yeah, sorry, we're doing a little react. The whole thing. Oh. Okay, one sec, guys. Lee's in trouble. All right, subs are not high enough, so we're gonna be finishing the stream at 5:30 today and getting some stuff done. Lil Lee and Lil Eli are going up to Liverpool tomorrow, so I'm gonna have 5 days of 12-hour streams. We need to grind out some subs during those, otherwise we're gonna be hard stuck for. But yeah, we'll finish the React first anyway. We've got about an hour left. Level cap. Yeah, I don't know if I agree on this. I'm not. I feel like I would have to go and look at the talent trees, but I think that this could cause some problems. But I think that also not getting a talent point every level leaves a real sour taste in the mouth. If you think about it, when you're leveling up on retail, right, half the time you don't even get a new talent or a mop or whatever, right? Because they're like spread out. Feels good to level and get talents. We'll give something fresh to do. Feels weird. I mean, I'm not against it. I think they would need to reduce the XP required each level and make it a little bit easier. There was definitely some kind of a bug where you could get 1 extra talent point. I think it was due to some patch or something, these. And if you didn't respec, they like refunded a point for something. I think that was it. Like somewhere up the tree, they like refunded a point. They made it like 3 talents instead of 2 or something. Didn't reset people's talents straight away. And then you just had 1 extra talent point, and then you could chuck it in Death Wish, but you still had MS. It was something like that. There was also a bug in TBC. I don't know how he did it, but there was a hunter. This was in TBC Classic. There was a hunter that had like, I think it was BM and Scatter. So there's definitely been times where that shit's happened. But that's what I mean, right? Shit like that is what's fucking terrifying, right? And balance is going to be completely different just from 5 levels. See you in a bit, Hamsty. Yeah, maybe no new talents, but like maybe you do it like that, right? You have some glyph slots or something that you unlock. So you don't get new talents, but you unlock the glyph slots. And then you level to 65, you have new zone. A couple of new zones. Dude, you know what would be nice? You could have like Hydral, which would be cool. Or like OG Hydral. And then like Emerald Dream. Would be nice. Shit like that would be awesome. But again, I think expecting new zones in Classic Plus is... I think that we're overestimating how many people that they've actually got working on stuff. So I can't actually see that happening. Unless they like have a big sort of spree of Blizzard assigning people to the Classic team. I think that having new zones is unrealistic. There's an issue with going to 65 as well, that everything currently useful in 55 to 60 range becomes dead content instantly. What do you mean, everything that's useful? Like the items that you can get from it, or what? I think that they don't need to scale like item level up anywhere near as aggressively as we normally see in WoW, right? Between like the 60 stuff and the 65 stuff. I feel like the 60, I feel like going from 60 to 65 should almost be like more, I don't want to say cosmetic, but it shouldn't be like that big of a difference to face a 60 compared to a 65. But I feel like the way that misses and stuff works in the game means that just wouldn't be possible. Maybe not even having like level up to 65. Maybe like you go up to level 60, and then any further XP that you gain goes towards unlocking glyph slots. And you have a glyph slot that's the XP bar slowly goes around the outside, right? And then when you finish the XP bar, you get that slot. And then you don't have the issue of them just being straight up higher level and you know, having issues with all the stats and stuff. And then it doesn't make old content redundant either. But you still gain something and feel more powerful to a degree. Or at least versatile. They should add girls to Classic Plus. Nah, that's a myth, bro. Level cap increase. I actually think no. But yeah, based on the stuff that I've said, there's definitely potential for something similar, I would say. Mythic Plus, yeah. Again, it's more content, more repeatable stuff. Remove heartbeat, yes, of course. But has to come with CC adjustments. You can't leave 40-second poly in the game and not have heartbeat, for example. Like, that would be fucking tapped. We need normal CC durations and DRs. Personal loot. No, I don't think personal loot is good. I think it's and I feel like this way about Kim, what did you just do? Like jumping on my keyboard. I think the personal loot is the same as that. I have the same issue with it as I do with Diablo, where like I love the way that loot works in Diablo 2, and Diablo 3 and stuff doesn't have that. If not personal, we need more loot per boss. Yeah, like 2x the amount of loot per boss. I think. I agree with that. I think that's based. I think 2x is not a bad amount. Right, last ones. Here we go. Okay. Flex rating. I don't really care about this, but I don't know. Oh, we already did these, didn't we? Did this. Did this. Where are we up to? Wait, where the fuck are we? We're literally down here. Personal. Okay, mounts at level 20. No. Remove racials. No. Flying mounts. No. This is gonna delete wild PvP. This is bad. This is. I can see why all this stuff is low. Mob/quest scaling. This is so fucking low. 3%. Is that just like everything's the same? And no, I mean I already say no, but I'm guessing this means like everything is the same and you can go to any zone and do it and it will be at your level. I think that would suck. I can see why that's at 3%. That makes it non-classic like. But yeah, yeah, all these are easy no's from me, these bottom ones. Then we did the rest already over here, personal loot. Flex rating, I'm not sure. I didn't do this. Rework over removal. I actually think that a bit of both. I don't think you can just be like, yeah, do this, not this. Like, I think that everything is situational. You have to take things case by case. Some stuff is terrible. Lightwell, right, is completely terrible. And I actually don't think they should rework Lightwell. Like, what can you do to Lightwell to rework it? You make it into the MOP edition of Lightwell, which is like passive AFK thing you put on the ground, which also sucks in terms of gameplay, right? So, like, I think that some things are just really hard to rework and just are just at a really bad starting point. So I think it's almost healthier to be like, no, this is just starting in such a really bad place. We don't want to force it and try and make it good. Like Shadow Covenant comes to mind, right? How long did they try and rework that on retail? And it was always awful. But yeah. I think that this could go either way. Flex rating. I think that having 25-man raids is cool. I think that having like a 10-man group in a 40-man raid is kind of shitty. I think some raids should feel bigger. But I think down to 25 maybe. I wouldn't be massively against. But further than that, I think it's bad. Right, yeah, that's pretty much my take on everything. Again, the stuff I've crossed out is stuff that I think should actually just already be in Classic and doesn't need Classic Plus. Fixes the things I like. There's some stuff that I was kind of on the fence about, but I put like a dash for that mostly. But yeah. I think having the option to do 40 man is good, right? And then a 25 man minimum for the larger dungeons, and then have some maybe separate 10 man ones. I think that's fine. I think my favorite raid ever was Karazhan, right? It was 10 man. Right, let me just mark this. But yeah, that was it. That was my reaction to the Classic Plus changes or potential changes. There's definitely more stuff that they could do for 60. As I said, we talked about Blood Moon and 1v1 arenas and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, I'm more focused, so we talked about that quite a lot. But in general, I think putting content and prioritizing content would be a big thing, and then being a little bit more careful with class adjustments as a secondary thing. But yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, thank you for watching. Easy vid. Not classic related, but I sent a screenshot of what's being removed currently on Midnight Alpha for healers. Wait, where did you send it? Okay, let me get this. This is what's being removed in Midnight. What's up? How's it going, bro? Wait, why is Zayu on ChatGPT? The hell? Is Zayu an AI? What if Zayu's an AI this whole time? Has anyone met him IRL? Wait, no, you're still talking. You go from me now. I'm done with you. Yeah, no, the AI is gonna get me, man. I watched a video. I watched a video like 2 days ago about listening. I was talking to. Me. Yeah, so I watched a video about 2 days ago about what it would look like when AI takes over the world and destroys humanity. Any comments? Yeah, but you would say that, bro.
Like sounds exactly so weird.
Alright. That'll do. That'll do.
That's crazy.
Oh, I'm gonna get Zai off screen. He's freaking me out. 2 AI.
Literally sounds exactly like.
Okay. What level are we? 21. Let's get a bit of questing done. Do we do quests? Let's do some quests. What have we got? We got about 30 minutes left, boys. Got to run to Red Ridge. You know what? I might fuck it off. I don't know. Do we have any? Oh yeah, we had the Josh react, don't we? Let me see. I literally closed it. Open link. Sinks, you okay, bro? Okay, Rest the Druid is losing. What's it? Sen Ward, Nourish, Germination, Rejuve. How are they losing Rejuve? Merge together. Swiftmend and this tree, Andy. Life Bloom and this. What is this? The fucking flower on the floor? I don't even know what this is. Genesis, not Rejuve. Yeah, I was gonna say, how are they removing Rejuve, bro? Like, Rejuve's like their main thing. Dude, you know what? I'm so happy that all the fucking healers are losing their kicks. Fuck you all. That's all I have to say. As a priest, fuck you all. Except Shaman. Yeah, but Shaman gets their kick there, alright. Dude, I don't know what half of this shit is. You're like telling me to look at these items. Bro, what? I'm pretty sure you don't lose Fiend, right? It's on the tree? Or am I crazy? What's this? Is this, Powered Life? Yeah, that was kind of that was an interesting one. I don't know. It felt kind of bloaty. Premonition gone. Isn't this the Oracle rotating thing? I think it was just too complicated, right? Was the problem. Disc is getting plea back. Out of all things to get back, we're getting plea back. Dude, plea is one of the worst fucking things I've ever seen in the game. Like actually. Plea is basically saving grace, but does about 1% of the fucking healing, and you just have it to apply atonement. It's just AIDS bloat. That's all it is. AIDS bloat. You basically used renew as plea in, well, at the moment in retail, just to apply atonements. And for some reason they're like, all right, we're gonna get rid of the renew and then just give you plea, and it's just like, okay, bro. Plea was dude, plea was it wasn't only Legion, was it? You used it to put up atonement. I don't think it was only Legion though, dude. Was it actually only Legion? Was it that long ago? I felt like it was about 2 expansions ago. There's no way it was that long. Fuck, bro. Time just goes. It was so fucking AIDS, man. Only like 8 years or something. That's depressing as shit, man. That's like such a reality check. God damn. And then what we choosing, like Dome or what's this Ultimate Penance? To be fair, like I just really want them to make Dome not shit. Like, you know how Ring of Peace is in Mop, where you just put on your teammate and it follows that teammate. I just wish Dome was like that. That would be so nice. It was on your bars in Legion, but that was pressed. How the fuck are you putting atonement up then? I swear you had to use it to put up atonement. Yeah, Shield was on a CD, and it was like the only way of putting it up. Other than that, I remember that shit, dude. And then you would use play to put it up, and I think then you had played Trinity or something. I can't remember. Shit's so fucking long ago. Anyway, I don't know what half this shit is. I'm not gonna lie. I don't play that much other than Priest. Vine Star going Keck W. If you played Trinity, you could only apply it with play. Yeah. No, I just think it was a terrible, terrible spell. I just felt really clunky and awkward to like basically do nothing to put a tournament up. I don't know. Wasn't a fan. But I only played Legion for 1 season. I didn't like it. I dipped. Right. Fuck. What am I gonna do now, man? Do we have any other reacts before I go? I'm gonna go in like 20 minutes. I might just go off and just eat something and then go pick up Eli. I was gonna stream more and do some mop, but he's going away tomorrow, so I'm probably just gonna chill with her for a bit and yeah, before she goes. Send me some ads. I need to buy stuff. You know what? Instead of buying stuff, just send me the little fucking the little gifties. Always a superior choice, no? Can you link the picture? Yeah. Is that it? Yeah, that should be. Is Sync's a bot at this point? Sync's owes me. Wait, dude, I just remember Sync showed me 69 subs, bro. There you go. Now you don't have to buy a gaming chair. I fixed the soul price for you, bro. You didn't believe. I do it every time. Dude, how did it take you 6 minutes to get liquidated, though? Like, I'm just looking at this picture now. It took you 6 whole minutes to drop 25 cents. It's not even that. Yeah, 29 cents. The fact that it took that long is a fucking miracle, bro. 250x. Yeah, but how the fuck did it take that long to just randomly blip down 29 cents? Lols. Right. Man, you should have exited nice and quick. Bagged a cool amount. Right, I'm going off, boys. I'm done. Interesting stream today, but I'm gonna piece it. Sorry, it's a bit short today. Honestly, I was thinking about not streaming today anyway. I feel like everyone's doing all their little, what's the word? Their little reacts to all the drama and shit. I'm not engaging with that. It's just not for me. It is what it is. But I will give the young Poike a little raid, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow is gonna be. I'll try and be on by like 3-ish UK, and then we just send the 12-hour stream directly till 3 a.m. Full send. Probably mop arenas, but might just do some retail as well. I don't fucking know. We'll see. See you in a bit.